Let's get ready to meet today's starting lineups, beginning with the Seawolves of Stony Brook. Leading things off, first baseman number 44, Eric Paulson. Paulson, first base. Batting second in the order, third baseman number 19, Evan Gogol. Gogol, third base. Batting third today, second baseman number 24, Johnny Pillow. Pillow, second base. The cleanup hitter is the DH today, number 40, Nico Aspaguata. Aspaguata, the DH. Batting fifth behind the dish, number 45, Luke Zeepak. Zeepak, the catcher. Batting sixth, controlling the center field, number 20, Cam Santerre. Santerre, center field. Batting seventh today, right field, number 37, Katie Burkle. Burkle, right field. Batting eighth in left field, number 32, James Downey. Downey, left field. Rounding out the batting order for the Seawolves, shortstop number 3, Matt Maselli. Maselli is the shortstop. Starting pitcher today for the Seawolves, number 13, right-hander John Rizzo. Right-hander John Rizzo, starting pitcher for the Seawolves. Now the starting lineups for your Bethune-Cookman University Wildcats. Set to lead things off in center field, number 20, Daniel Figueroa. Figueroa, center field. Batting second today, second baseman number 12, Jesus Venegas. Venegas, second base. Batting third today, the DH number 14, Armani Newton. The DH. Batting fourth today, left field number 5, Michael Rodriguez. Rodriguez, left field, batting cleanup. Batting fifth today, at third base, number 6, Andre Martinez. Martinez, third base. Batting sixth on first base for the Cats, number 16, Mickey Supreme. Supreme, first base. Batting seventh behind the dish, number 44, Jose Fernandez. Fernandez, the catcher. Batting eighth today in right field, number 1, Darryl Lee. Lee, right field. And rounding out the batting order for the Cats at shortstop, number 17, Jamie Villafani. Villafani, the shortstop. Here's starting pitcher today for the Wildcats, left-hander number 24, Edwin Sanchez. Edwin Sanchez, left-hander number 24. Here's starting pitcher for the Wildcats. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please stand. Gentlemen, remove your caps. Veterans, you may cover as we honor this nation with the playing of our national anthem.
Well, live from Jackie Robinson Ballpark in beautiful downtown Daytona Beach, Florida, it's time for the series finale between the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and the Stony Brook Seawolves here on Sunday afternoon. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Thorillo. Happy to have your company. Bryce Wojnowski joins me at the broadcast desk. Bryce, it's a busy weekend here at Bethune-Cookman. Saturday we were here at baseball, Sunday basketball, today baseball, tomorrow basketball, but it's working in sports sometimes. You got to embrace the grind and go with it. And the Wildcats trying to avoid being swept at home to open a season for the first time since 2003 this afternoon.
Yeah, and it hasn't certainly been the start that you want, you know, coming into a weekend like this, a team like this that you feel like has the opportunity to go all the way in their conference. But I think we've certainly seen characteristics of the same Wildcats team that we're used to seeing, in that the pitching has for the most part, been outstanding over the weekend. Even last night, a game that where you allow only 3 runs, you figure you should win that most of the time. Joel Corey looks outstanding on Saturday. Of course, Tanner Bocabello back on Friday. Kind of settles in, gets a little bit closer to what we expect him to be later on in the start. And now we've got a guy on Sunday in Edwin Sanchez who a lot of promise. The Sunday start is one that, you know, a lot of times you spend the first part of the year figuring out, and nothing would make the Wildcats happier, win or loss in this game, than for Sanchez to come out and really stake his claim to that spot.
Edwin Sanchez, the junior left-hander from Guayama, Puerto Rico, at El Paso Community College. Another big unknown on this Wildcats team coming into the year. We talked a lot on Friday during our broadcast about the unknowns, like the newcomers, Venegas, Newton. Andrew Martinez was big on Friday with the home run, and we got new ones in the lineup tonight. Jose Fernandez behind the plate, Darrell Lee in right field, unknown names to the Wildcat faithful here. And Stony Brook has come out and done the job and looked way better than the 7th place CAA team that they were projected to be, especially this man right here, Eric Paulson, who leads off for the Seawolves.
First base.
Through the first 2 games, Paulson a run on 3 hits, a homer, and 2 RBI. And Rodriguez settles in, and we are underway. First pitch, a strike from Sanchez.
I'm not sure I'd give Paulson a whole lot to hit today. He's been, I mean, what a stud. Comes in, does some pitching for the Seawolves, hits the bomb on Friday night. I mean, he's a big, big guy.
Freshman All-American last year, outside and low. That pitch is called a strike from Sanchez, and it's 0-2 on Eric Paulson. Our umpires tonight, Jesus Morel behind the plate, Don Andrews at first, Royce Morrison at third. Breaking ball doesn't catch the inside corner, and it's 1-2. It is very windy today, swirling, gusting all sorts of directions. That plus other reasons is why I think we might have a defensive low-scoring game today. There's a strike 3 call, and Paulson goes down looking to start the game. First Wildcat strikeout for Edwin Sanchez.
Really attacking the zone there. I mean, not a guy that looks scared of Paulson and what he's been able to do to this team over the weekend. Goes at him, gets the strikeout. It's certainly a promising sign for a team that felt like first 2 starts of the weekend nibbled a little bit coming out of the gate.
Here's Evan Goforth, yet to have a hit or get on base to start this season through first 2 games. So, correction, he had 1 walk yesterday. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts in 8 at-bats. No hits for Goforth, the senior third baseman. Here's a 1-0 from Sanchez. There's a strike. So the strike zone seems to be trending down and away to lefties, low and into righties here early on. Fouled away first base side, count 1-2. Defensively for Bethune-Cookman, looks like this. Sanchez the pitcher, Fernandez the catcher, Shufrain at first, Venegas at second, Villafane at third, Villafane at short, Martinez at third, Rodriguez in left, Figueroa in center, and Darrell Lee in right. Breaking ball got away from Sanchez, and it's 2-2. Couple of changes from what we saw on Friday night. Darrell Lee comes in, Jimmy Villafane, who was here last year, comes in. Daniel Figueroa goes from batting 9th to batting 1st. Manny Shufrain goes from the leadoff spot to 6th after a slow start to his 2025 campaign as the count runs full.
Sanchez looks almost exactly, in many ways, like Daniel Gaviria did, who started on Sundays for the last 2 years for the Wildcats, both in his kind of delivery, in his stature, 5'7", 170, not a huge, like your big lefty.
He attacks the zone, and the ground ball gets through the left-hand side for a base hit, the first hit of the season for Evan Goforth, 1 on, 1 out.
And that's going to be what's the difference between a great Edwin Sanchez and one that struggled a little bit again, like Gaviria did, because they both need to be pitch to contact guys. And if you can turn ground balls like that are hit so hard into the slow ones, right into the infield, you're going to make quick work and be really, really efficient, which is a lot of what you need on Sundays.
Here's Johnny Pilla, who's had a massive weekend at the plate. First pitch to him is a foul tip back. Pilla, 6 at-bats, a run, 3 hits, 2 doubles, a triple, and 3 RBI, a 1.16 slugging percentage through 2 games. Outside and low to Pilla, and it's 1-1. Pilla, the junior from Ridgewood, New Jersey, a career Seawolf. Batted .273 last year in his sophomore campaign for Stony Brook. Spinning a throwback to first to check on Goforth. Can't really take a lot on averages and on-base percentages, just 2 games in. 1-1. Slider finds the zone, 1-2.
When it comes to that, I do feel like in baseball early, you say you take a lot away from a great start, and if not starting so hot, it's early. You know, you get the benefit of a hot start to it, and if not, just give them the old, relax.
1-2 from Sanchez, misses the zone with the curve, and it's 2-2.
Not a whole lot over the heart of the plate early for Sanchez, kind of going back and forth from in on the hands to out on the outer half.
Well, the one he did groove down the middle was the base hit for Goforth. Through the left-hand side under the glove of Andrew Martinez. Called the ball outside and low. Wildcat dugout wanted that to be strike 3. The count runs full. It'll be interesting to see how the hitters for both sides this afternoon deal with the fact that there's no batter's eye out in center field as Pilla draws a walk, 2 on, 1 out.
Yeah, we mentioned it back on Friday. I don't think it played as much against that dark sky on Friday and then Saturday night. Today's going to be a little different. You got that metal roof out there in center field, that pretty bright, shiny object out there with the sun reflecting basically right back into home plate off of it. And then a whole lot of other busyness with the bridge and the trees in the background. It definitely could be tough. Might be a pitcher's duel because of it.
Here's another guy who's had a pretty good opening weekend at the plate for the Seawolves, Nico Azpilicueta. Breaking ball outside, ball 1. Azpilicueta in 6 at-bats, 2 runs, 2 hits, a double. No RBI, but he has scored twice. He's also played left field in that big switcheroo that the Seawolves did on Friday night in the middle of the game. Swing and a miss, the fastball, 1-1. I think that's the kind of pitch that Sanchez is going to have to go back to. He's gone more breaking ball after giving up that walk to Goforth, or the single to Goforth. 1-1. Doesn't catch the outside corner, 2-1. And a whole new battery this afternoon for the Wildcats, with Fernandez behind the plate. Jose Fernandez did get in yesterday, and 1 at-bat got a hit and an RBI.
That's a great breaking ball there from Sanchez. No idea it was coming, just dipped right down almost into the dirt. Big fan on it.
Here's the 2-2. Lefty to righty. Swing and a miss. Got him with the breaking ball that tailed away into the dirt. And there's 2 away. Second strikeout of the inning for Sanchez.
That's a really great mix between more of the curve that kind of just goes laterally to a pitch like that dips away from right-handers. That's a really lethal combination because they kind of both look the same coming out of the hand, and one of them just kind of drifts away.
And you think when you get into swag play, traditionally a league, especially on the west side, that pounds the ball like there's no tomorrow, pitching's going to have to be on point when you get into some of those conference series. He goes right back to that breaking ball and gets a swing and miss first pitch to the catcher, Luke Zepek. Zepek played yesterday, had a run on a hit and 4 at-bats. Ground ball tap right back to Sanchez on the mound. He throws Zepek out to end the inning. So Sanchez works out of a jam. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the first. Stony Brook nothing. Wildcats coming to bat. This is Bethune-Cookman University Baseball on the CatEye Network. We go to the bottom of the first here at the Jack. Daniel Figueroa leads off for Bethune-Cookman, who are looking for any kind of offense in this opening series of the year. 4 runs on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and you felt like the 2 winnable games that the Wildcats have dropped late on. There's a first pitch strike at the knees from John Rizzo, the starting pitcher. His brother Nick Rizzo started and got the win yesterday. Figueroa fouls it off, and it's 0-2. Started at the Division III level, John Rizzo, at the Northeast 10 at Delphi College. That one's upstairs, 1-2. At Northeast 10 All-Conference, 3rd team in 22 out of Delphi. Figueroa fights it off, count holds. And then last year was on the Stony Brook roster, did not appear. This is his first appearance as a Seawolf, the junior from East Islip, New York. He's ahead 1-2 on Daniel Figueroa. And Figgy tops this one foul outside of third. A couple of defensive swings from Figueroa after going down 0-2. Figueroa batted in the 9 spot on Friday. Has 2 hits and 4 at-bats at an RBI with 3 walks. 1-2. And he watches strike 3 right down the middle. First strikeout of the season for Daniel Figueroa, and there's 1 down. And the first batter of the first inning for both teams has gone down on a reverse K.
Interesting to see where Figueroa fits. I mean, we bragged on him a lot being that table set in the 9 spot, and then just like last year, right back up into the 1 spot. We'll see.
Big cut and miss by Jesus Venegas. Venegas, 8 at-bats, a run on 3 hits, a double, no RBI. Struck out 3 times in his first 8 at-bats, and he's quickly behind 0-2. John Rizzo has said, there is no nonsense about me today. I'm coming out, I'm pounding the zone, and you're not going to hit it. Working quickly, brushes Venegas back up by the face mask.
Definitely lost that one out of the hand a little bit. But again, from Sunday starters, that's kind of what you expect coming in. Just throw strikes. Strikes.
Venegas pounds it down the right field line. If that stays fair, that's going a long way. It's gone! It snuck inside the foul pole down the right field line. Adios, amigos. It's the first Wildcat home run for Jesus Venegas. 1-0 Bethune-Cookman.
Well, and there's a reason this guy was named All SWAC by Perfect Game, an award that he couldn't get within his own conference due to the way the voting works, but there's a lot of pop in this guy's bat. A guy that replaces a guy in Colton Olison who obviously didn't have that kind of pop, but now that's 2 home runs in opening weekend for a Wildcats team that doesn't see a lot of that. So maybe there is a little bit of that pop that Coach Hernandez told us was coming this year.
I'm shocked that one got out.
It didn't look like it off the bat. I assumed it was going to be a foul over to the little bullpen area.
First pitch is strike to Armani Newton. So 1-0 Cats. And Newton watches a ball. Newton, a run on a hit. That hit was a double. He's walked once and struck out once in 8 at-bats. And from the DH spot, the transfer from Florida Gulf Coast. Hits one high in the air. Right field and deep. Going back. Berghold! He watches it leave the yard! Adios, amigos! And the Wildcats go back-to-back and belly-to-belly. And it's 2-0.
Well, now that's something we've never seen from this Wildcats team in years, is that kind of pop this early. Just completely different approach than we've seen from this Wildcats team. And so much for Rizzo, pounding the zone. Well, if you pound a little too much, keep that middle, that thing's gone. That was certainly the longest home run of the bunch we've seen earlier in the year, but that'd be one of the longer ones in recent years.
I would counter that Andrew Martinez's home run over the batting cages on Friday night was the longest one we've seen this weekend.
That one carried a long way on a day that the wind wasn't sure we were going to be able to get that kind of power.
Well, back-to-back jacks for the Cats have them up 2-0, and there's Michael Rodriguez. Rodriguez, the sophomore. And he hits this one high in the air, but foul down the third baseline. Also had home run distance. What is happening today?
I don't know. I don't know if we're just swinging angry after 2 days where it didn't exactly go our way.
Rodriguez, 9 at-bats, 2 runs, 3 hits. The only Wildcat to score more than 1 run in the first 2 games. 2 doubles and an RBI. And these Wildcats are now really swinging away, as that's another foul, 0-2 the count. I'd like to see what Sanchez does with a lead when he gets back on the mound. 1-2. Outside, 2-2. And for Rizzo, you get the first guy striking out looking. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a foul back. And then the next 2 guys leave the yard. Can't be great for your confidence as the Sunday starter. But again, it's only the first inning.
Just solo shots. I mean, they're not going to kill you. Not the start you want necessarily, especially after the way the weekend's gone and really how well they've pitched.
2-2. Outside, 3-2. And this is someone in Rizzo who's coming off a year of inactivity. Took a redshirt year last year with the Seawolves, didn't pitch at all, whether that be through injury or not being around in the starting rotation. And that's blow ball 4. So 2 home runs and a walk to Rodriguez. And, well, you maybe put the fastest guy in the lineup on base with a walk. And 1 down, and the batter will be Andrew Martinez, who we already mentioned hit one a country mile on Friday night over the batting cages in left field.
Looks like some bullpen activity might be starting to get underway. Got some guys putting some pads on over there for Stony Brook.
And this was a guy in Rizzo. First pitch off the end of the bat. That's a little flare into right field for a base hit. Rodriguez will hold at second, and there's first and second, 1 down.
I love the way the Cats are swinging the bat early after the way that it's gone the last 2 nights. It's so easy to, kind of shut things down on a Sunday, give it up, say it's not our week, we'll get back to it on Wednesday. But no, they've come out, taken what the pitchers have given them. They've taken it deep. They've gotten walks. It's so early. And just done everything they need to put that pressure on and show that we're not just going to be walked over on Sunday.
Well, now stepping into the box is somebody who will be chomping at the bit to get some good contact. Manny Soufriene, we talked about him coming into the year as, the all-SWAC guy, big power bat in the lineup, and he just hasn't been that through the first 2 games. Nothing through 5 at-bats, a walk, 2 hit by pitches, and 2 strikeouts, but no hits so far for Manny Soufriene. But he will take a lot of confidence in seeing 2 balls leave the yard already in the first inning, because he is a guy that if he gets into one, it's not coming back.
You got to be careful not to take that too far, right? You don't want to come up chopping at it. You don't want to come up hacking at it. You've still got outs to play with here, just 1 gone in the inning. So if all that is a little dribbler base hit or something in a gap, or shoot, if you want to go yard, go for it. But the way you work deeper into that start of the year slump is just by coming up and taking 3 big swings at it and going down.
Led the team with 5 homers a season ago, Soufriene, including a grand slam at Florida A&M that won the Wildcats that series. First pitch, a strike outside corner from John Rizzo. Early mound visit by head coach Matt Sink. 0-1. In the dirt. Nice job by Sepek to corral it behind the base pad, behind the plate. If you didn't listen to our broadcast on Friday night, we talked about the dimensions here at the Jack behind the plate. It's a mile to the backstop, so if the ball gets away, the runners are moving up. Soufriene is hunting the fence. He took a big cut at that one and fouled it off. Soufriene was top 10 in OPS last year, best on the team with 946.
Got on base a lot of different ways.
A lot of them look just like that, because once pitchers kind of realized, oh, he's got the power, he really started nibbling him. He took so many walks last year, and 19 hit by pitches. 2-2. Swing and a liner to short, and it gets under the glove of Maselli. Michael Rodriguez will hold it third, and the bases are full of Cats with 1 down.
And it would have been so easy right there to try to go for the big uppercut swing right there, but instead just sends it right back, stays solid, stays flat on it, just punches it right where the glove of the shortstop can't get it. It's exactly how you just keep moving things forward and how you start to get right back on the right track early in the season at the plate.
And now bases loaded for the catcher Jose Fernandez, the redshirt sophomore out of Venezuela. And another newcomer looking to make his mark here for the Wildcats. Check swing, foul outside of first. Fernandez wasn't someone we were coming into the season particularly notable behind the plate, getting the start today at catcher. Transfer from Monroe College at the junior college level. 0-1. Swing and a chopper foul at the plate, 0-2. But again, every year, Bryce, it seems like one of these unknown junior college guys comes into Bethune-Cookman and has a career year.
It's the way the revolving doors work for Coach Hernandez and why this team has been able to be so consistent year in and year out is because you always go around and you find these diamonds that really haven't been too far from home, where it's FSCJ or somewhere down south.
Ground ball outside of third, count holds 0-2. Last year, it was resoundingly Tanner Bocabello, SWAC newcomer of the year. Who will it be this year? It might be Jose Fernandez, who knows? Bases loaded, 1 out. Already 2 in the inning on the 2 solo shots by Venegas and Newton. Rodriguez is on third, Martinez on second, Soufriene on first as a foul tip goes back and Fernandez stays alive. Fernandez did bat once last night off the bench, did get a hit and an RBI. One of the 2 runs the Wildcats scored last night, but he's staring down an 0-2 count with the bases juiced. And he watches one up and out for ball 1. Seventh batter of the inning for the Wildcats already, just 1 down. 1-2, swing and a miss at a slider that tailed away. And there's 2 away. So both strikeouts, or so both outs, excuse me, have been strikeouts for John Rizzo. And now here's Darrell Lee. Lee also pinch hit last night. Did not record a stat. And he fouls this one into the grandstands down the left field line, and it's 0-1. But now you got bases loaded, 2 outs, and are at risk of really bringing back the left on base trend from Friday night. The Wildcats stranded 12. Way upstairs and out 1-1. Bases loaded, 2 down. Wildcats already 2 here in the bottom of the first. Swung on, line to right field. There's a base hit, and that's going to get to the gap and go all the way to the wall. Rodriguez scores. Martinez scores. All the way from first, who comes Dufresne. He scores. It's a bases clearing 3 RBI triple for Darrell Lee, and the Cats lead 5-zip in the first.
And for a guy that didn't see much action last year for the Wildcats, to be able to come through in a big spot early, and again, you talk about erasing all the woes of 2 back-to-back nights that have not really gone your way at the plate, to send one right in the gap like that. Again, this is the type of offensive team that Coach Hernandez has told us that this team can be all off-season, and the pieces have come together for a really early hot start here, and I don't know how much longer they're going to give a leash to Rizzo.
Bunt by Jamie Villafane. He's going to go to first to record the out. Well, that's a bit of a risky play for the Wildcats. We'll talk about it when we come back. 5 runs, 5 hits, 2 home runs. They leave 1 stranded. We go to the second inning. 5-0 Bethune-Cookman here on the CatEye Network. Well, the Wildcats put a 5 spot on Stony Brook in the first, but again, we've got 8 innings to go here. Anything can happen. These Sunday games, Bryce, have a tendency to get wild, as that one's hit high in the air, foul out of play first base side by Cam Santerre. Santerre in 2 games, 6 at-bats, a run on 2 hits, 2 walks, a strikeout for Santerre. And there's a swing and a miss on a breaking ball outside corner. Santerre has flashed the leather in center field, had some ridiculous catches on Friday night to keep the Wildcats off the board. One of the reasons why they stranded 12 in that first game. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with the breaking ball in the dirt. 3rd strikeout for Sanchez.
We wondered what it would look like for Sanchez coming up with a lead. Clearly still going right at guys. That breaking ball still getting the swings and misses. As long as he locates it, again, keeps it low, keeps it away, that's going to be a tough one for Stony Brook to figure out.
We apologize for some of the technical difficulties we've had over the past inning, trying to get our setup here on Sunday afternoon. It is very windy here at the Jack today. The wind knocked out one of our cameras temporarily. We had to go fix that. Here's the 0-1. In the dirt, 1-1 to Berkhold. Yeah, new setup for us here at the Jack this year.
New equipment, new spot, power that doesn't work like it's supposed to because of construction. You know how it goes.
Swing and a miss. And it's 1-2. When we talked about coming into the game, will the batters struggle because there's no batter's eye? Well, the answer is no.
Yeah, I guess that is a big no. We were talking to Coach Hernandez about it before the week, and a lot of SWAC schools don't have batter's eyes. FAMU doesn't have one. Texas Southern doesn't have one. And it's not like it's completely impossible to play without one. It just certainly helps to have it out there with, again, how busy, especially here, the background can be.
I'm sure if it's not up by Tortuga's season, the MILB players are going to complain about it. Fouled away, count 2-2. Kincaid Berghold still yet to record a hit this weekend. His only trip to the base paths was a hit by pitch on Friday, came around to score. Here's the 2-2. In the dirt, count runs full. But I mentioned these Sunday games can get a little wild. What do we have? A couple of double-digit to double-digit ones. I mean, obviously the main game last year, the big offender. Three! Swing and a miss, and Berghold goes down.
They are nowhere close on that breaking ball that's dipping down below the zone. Just way over top of it.
What was the game against Jackson State? 16-9 on Sunday. The one against Florida A&M was like 15-7.
Been some big comebacks, been some blown leads. There's been Sundays absolutely have been ones where guys are putting the ball in play. With not a whole lot of getaway games out here.
We put 14 on Mississippi Valley State on Sunday afternoon. That was the end of a 4-game set. First pitch, a strike to Chance Doherty. Doherty played last night. And he takes a strike outside corner, 0-2. Doherty, 4 at-bats last night, struck out twice, no other stats. And Sanchez looking for a quick inning. He's going to get a ground ball to short. Venegas will fire away. And 1-2-3 go the Seawolves. So how does Sanchez look with a lead? Pretty darn good. 2 strikeouts and a soft ground out. The Wildcats coming to bat up 5-0 here on the CatEye Network. Well, the Wildcats sent 9 to the plate in the first inning. 5 of them scored. So we're back to the top of the order. Here's Daniel Figueroa, who led off the game with a strikeout. And he watches a ball low. John Rizzo's still out there for the Seawolves, trying to work through this Sunday. As Figueroa puts it in the air to shallow right. Moving over is Berghold. He makes the catch, 1 down. That one, the wind just held it up instead of pushing it out of the yard. It is swirling every so direction. I'm looking at the palms out beyond the outfield, and they don't know what to make of it.
It's been feel like primarily left to right. It's going out to right field there, but it absolutely, it's coming on us. It's blown straight out. It's one of those Daytona days.
First pitch, swinging ground ball to third for Jesus Venegas, and there's quickly 2 away on 3 pitches.
Be careful not to give a chance for Rizzo to get back in the game here. You've got a chance to do what Coach Hernandez always says, get to the bullpen and then keep going. Well, if you let him work out of a 3-5 pitch inning here, then you got a shot that he can keep going and really settle back in. And then if the Seawolf bats come alive, then you're talking about a game.
Venegas had the first of the home runs. Newton, who's at the plate now, had the second. Takes a fastball strike down and away. This is the second year for the Wildcats that Coach Hernandez, as Newton fouls that back, has been the third base coach as well as the head man. Our first couple years covering the baseball team here, he was just in the dugout. Coach Carballo was out there. Fastball outside, 1-2. And he told us after Friday night, when that run scored on the controversial play at the plate, he said, I just took a chance. Newton brushed back, 2-2.
Also would have been the first to tell you that was definitely an out at home plate.
Oh, yeah, we were laughing about it after the game, like, yeah, that
wasn't even really close, but you get the benefit of that one.
2-2. Swung on and hit high in the air to right field and deep. Moving over Berghold, back to the track, to the wall. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Armani Newton, adios amigos for the second straight time.
Well, what did we say Friday night? He comes from a Florida Gulf Coast program that mashes the ball. And, yeah, he didn't necessarily see a ton of time at the plate down there. Wasn't one of their big guys, but you benefit a ton from that coaching, from that play style, from everything else. And he looks every bit like an Eagle that's haunted the Wildcats the last couple of years. He's been mashing balls.
I think that's the end for Rizzo, because here comes head coach Matt Sank, his 32nd season with Stony Brook. We talked about that a little bit on Friday, but like, to stay in one place for that long in this college landscape is something you don't really see.
From both sides. It's a loyalty point from his standpoint, and for the school to stay with him. They've seen success. They've seen down seasons the last couple of years, but it's a guy they trust who clearly knows the area based on some of these guys he's recruited from upstate New York. I give him a ton of credit for what he's done down there.
Well, that's the end for Rizzo. And his line score is not great. 1 2/3 pitched, 44 pitches, 6 runs, 6 hits, all earned, a walk, 2 strikeouts, 3 home runs given up, and a 3 RBI triple that could have been a home run.
Again, just this team tends to fall into ruts, and when you have a day like this, you know, come out swinging like that, you come out of opening weekend feeling a lot better about it. You had some great defensive stands on Friday and Saturday. Pitching looks good. And you finally realize that, hey, there are some bats here in that dugout.
And all offseason, Coach raved to us about, oh, the bats are going to be so much better. The bats are going to be so much better. We've recruited power. We've recruited hitting, and we didn't really see it on Friday and Saturday. Well, we're seeing it now.
And it's you know, one thing, you know, you could very easily dismiss it and say, you know, everybody has a big game, but how many 3 home run games have we seen since we've been here? How many?
Single digit?
We rarely see home runs at all. I mean, this is not an easy ballpark to hit him out of.
And I don't think I've ever seen one here. When we see it at the SWAC tournament with that short porch up at Georgia Tech, or we hit, 5 in a game against Prairie View A&M last year?
Yep.
But here, 400 to dead center, 317 down the right field line, 325 to the right field line, and the wind almost constantly blowing in off the water. Once we get towards spring and summer, when that wind starts getting consistent and not kind of swirling here as it is in late winter, we'll kind of see more of that. But you take advantage where you can get it. The new pitcher is Matt Scambati. I will get you through his numbers shortly. The batter is Michael Rodriguez, and he hits Michael Rodriguez. And so Rodriguez on with a walk and a hit by pitch in his 2 plate appearances, and here's Andrew Martinez, who singled his first time up.
If Mikey Rodriguez can find ways to get on base, you know, without having to swing the bat like that, whether it's just, you know, kind of being one of those guys that tends to get hit a lot or taking those walks, he's so fast. I mean, you're talking about a guy that can be an automatic runner in scoring position anytime he gets on.
Well, Matt Scambati is playing his first collegiate baseball game today. A freshman out of Ballston Spa, New York. And 1-0. Breaking ball hit in the air to left center field. Doty is going back there. It's a dive from Santerre, and he can't make the play. And it bounds over the wall for a ground rule double from Andrew Martinez.
A lot of ballparks, you know, we'll talk about this a bunch this year, that would have stayed in and been real trouble. But The Jack, that turf, tends to get a little springy out there, so
We've
probably
seen
cost
more
yourself a
ground.
run.
We've seen more ground rule doubles here than I think I've seen in any other ballpark ever.
Yeah, those corners especially. Feels like they always get over the wall, even though the wall isn't short by any means. It's just it feels like they always bound over there, so you maybe lose a run, maybe two.
So now here's Manny Sufrain, who singled through the left side his first time up. The primary pitch for Scambati is that big breaking ball that goes over the top. Reminds me of a pitcher, I don't remember his name, from 2 years ago. Grambling State in the tournament had that one guy who pretty much exclusively threw the curveball, and the Wildcats ate him alive in that semifinal game.
Well, and really, off of Rizzo, a lot of the damage was done on breaking balls too. Just sitting middle high, and just pretty easy to stay over and punch back out in the outfield.
Fastball low, and it's 3-0 to Manny Sufrain. So since Scambati has come in, hit by pitch, ground rule double, and he's behind 3-0. There's a right down the middle. Scambati, Sgambati. That is very New York Italian.
Got a type up there. Clearly pitching around Sufrain here. Open base, 2 outs. I wouldn't be in any hurry to give him much to hit, especially the way the ball's flying out of here today.
After the foul ball, it's 3-2. Second and third, 2 down here in the inning. Ground ball right back up the middle. That could be trouble from Sufrain. Coming in is Rodriguez. Martinez in from second, standing up. 2 RBI for Sufrain. And the Wildcats are blowing this one open. It's 8-0.
And again, just like the first time around, I give him a ton of credit because he's seen his teammates go up in there, big uppercut swing, trying to put it out over the wall, and we know that he has a tendency to take swings like that, but yet both of his hits have been those hard ground balls right back up the middle or out to the hole over at the shortstop position. Just hit hard, good piece of hitting, a mature hitter, Manny Sufrain. You can tell it's a guy who's been around and understands the game, understands his role in this offense.
Here's Jose Fernandez, who struck out his first time up in the first inning. Scambati deals, breaking ball outside, ball 1. And we talked to Coach after Friday night's game. He said, well, Stony Brook threw their 2 best pitchers on Friday night. We should be better the rest of the weekend. Well, it didn't really happen last night. That one smashed to left field, but the wind's going to keep it in the yard. Doty makes the catch to end the inning, but the Wildcats get 3 runs on 3 hits with 2 outs, and they go up 8-0 here as we go to the third here on the CatEye Network. Matt Maselli leads off for the Stony Brook Seawolves in the third. It is 8-0 Bethune-Cookman. And after a walk and a base hit in the first, Edwin Sanchez has pretty much cruised through the middle part of this Stony Brook order. Maselli, the 9-hole hitter. 7 at-bats in his first 2 games, a run on a hit. 1 hit by pitch, 1 strikeout. And just as I was pumping Sanchez up, he misses pretty badly on 2 straight. It's 2-0. Bryce, we were talking during the break to producer Lee, who's sitting up here with us, and we were saying, oh, the reason why college baseball plays so many games is, you have days like this. That one's a ground ball right back up the middle, second hit of the game for Stony Brook. And there's 1 on, nobody out. You should play so many games in baseball because it averages out towards the end of the season.
It's so hard to sweep at any level of baseball. It doesn't matter if it's number 1 versus number 32 or whatever number. It's so hard. I mean, you always have a day where the bats don't seem to work or the pitching struggles a little bit. Defense sometimes is snake-bitten some days. It's just tough. It's tough.
First pitch, fastball, ball outside. Eric Paulson, who struck out looking his first time up. Paulson has been doing the damage both at bat and on the mound for Stony Brook. Pops that one sky high, foul territory, first base side. Manny Sufrain tracking and makes the catch for out number 1. But Paulson came back in to pitch last night when the Wildcats started to rally and shut him down again.
Yeah, he's a stud, man. He's had such a great opening weekend. He'll be certainly a player to watch nationally for what he can do on both sides of the ball.
And there's been an interesting counter trend going on in softball. I was listening to the broadcast of Bethune-Cookman Stetson last night as the Wildcats took that win over the Hatters. But they were talking about the fact that the two-way player in softball is dying. And as more and more pitchers specialize at younger and younger ages. First pitch is hit in the air to left field down the line. Not deep, moving over Rodriguez to make the catch, 2 away. And sending Maselli back to first. That was Evan Goforth, who singled his first time up. But the opposite is happening in baseball, spurred on by the popularity of Shohei Ohtani and the like. The two-way player is becoming increasingly more popular at the lower levels of baseball. And as those players age into the college ranks, you'll see it more and more.
It's interesting, man. I mean, it's tough. Both sides of the ball is... A lot of times at this level, it's your kind of closer, reliever, and position player type, but you got your starters too. I mean, it's so demanding. We look at it and also in awe of guys like Ohtani who can do it, but it's a tough way to live.
And a lot of pitchers don't even take like normal fielding drills anymore. They're just so specialized as the pitching is all you do from basically the time you pick up the baseball. With injuries being a concern, especially that the age for your average first Tommy John surgery getting younger and younger, and some high school players are now getting it now. And then you'd think maybe if they were more well-rounded at an early age, you wouldn't have that issue as much. Count is 1-0 to Johnny Pilla, who walked his first time up, was stranded on first. And the count is 2-0, fastball outside. Sanchez a bit wild in this inning. Was behind him. Maselli gave up the base hit and then has had to rely on his defense for the 2 outs so far. The pop-up to Paulson, the line out to Goforth. That one just misses outside, and it's 3-0. Credit to Sanchez for only the 1 walk so far. Because if you talk about, he was very identical to Daniel Gaviria. 3-0, smash to right field. That's going to get down and head to the wall. Trying to score all the way from first is Matt Maselli. Here's the relay to the plate. It's not in time, and in fact, they don't even go there. They go to third, and out at third is Pilla trying to stretch it to a triple. But the run does count. The Seawolves are on the board on the RBI double by Johnny Pilla, but that's the end of the inning. 1 run, 2 hits, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the third. 8-1 Wildcats here on the CatEye Network. Well, the Stony Brook Seawolves are on the board after a RBI double by Johnny Pila. We go to the bottom of the third. The Wildcats still with an 8-1 lead. And here's Darrell Lee, who, outside the 3 home runs that the Wildcats have hit so far, has maybe had the loudest at-bat of the bunch for the Cats. Had the 3-run triple back in the first that scored Sufrain, Martinez, and Rodriguez. And he chops one softly towards third. Fielding it is Goforth, and he got him by half a step. Darrell Lee's sneaky fast over there. Not a lot of players would be close to beating that out.
There's a lot of athletic guys up and down this lineup that maybe we haven't necessarily seen. That same kind of caliber. Could be some influence of the way SWAC ball is played and how teams kind of like Jackson State last year just continue to put the ball in play and just run fast.
Another slow chopper towards third off the bat of Jamie Villafane. And he's out by a quarter of a step that time. Well, Villafane had that bunt out, 1-3 in the first. Now he's got a soft tapper, 5-3 in the third. So, and we'll go back to the top of the order. Daniel Figueroa, who's 0 for 2. The Wildcats are swinging away here, up 8-1. 2 outs on just 4 pitches so far in the inning, as that one's bounced the plate cricket style by Scambati. It is Daytona 500 Sunday, so if you're out and around Daytona Beach checking out our broadcast, be careful out there.
I think that's the flyover we're hearing right now.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it. There's a strike to Figueroa, 1-1.
It always feels like baseball season. That's how you know, because every year we're always sitting out here doing one of these games, and you see the Jets fly over.
That one right down the middle, but Figueroa had called for time, so no pitch. They moved the start time of the 500 up to 1:30. Scambati deals high, 2-1. And we moved the start time from 1 to noon of this game to potentially avoid the rain that's supposed to come in later this afternoon. It's perfectly calm out here now, partly cloudy skies. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Scambati fields it and fires across, and that's the first time the Wildcats have gone 1-2-3 in the ballgame. We go to the fourth, 8-1 Bethune-Cookman here on the CatEye Network.
If it gets really bouncy.
Nico Azpilicueta leads off for the Stony Brook Seawolves here in the top of the fourth. Wildcats lead 8-1, trying to avoid the sweep here on opening weekend. First pitch from Sanchez in the dirt ball 1. Azpilicueta, the redshirt junior from Sherman Oaks, California, has a couple of big hits this weekend, as that one's in there for a strike, 1-1. First team junior college All-American out at St. Mary's in California. Ground ball up the middle, there's a base hit. And so the Seawolf bats stay hot. They had a run in the last inning on 2 hits, and the leadoff man is aboard with a ground ball up the middle here.
Yeah, credit to them. I mean, they've put pressure on. Sanchez just done a good job of letting his defense do the work, getting out of situations like this. One of the guys that hasn't really looked phased, on Friday night, kind of looked like the approach changed a little bit for BCU when guys got on. Things got a little tight, but hasn't really affected him much. Kind of just worked to his game.
As the wind blows my scorebook closed, here's Luke Zepek. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out back to the pitcher in the first inning. Zepek, the sophomore catcher, watches one down and away for ball 2. Started at West Virginia, Luke Zepek, but was a high school teammate of Matt Maselli at Christian Brothers High School. 2-0. In the dirt, 3-0. Freshman year at West Virginia, Luke Zepek, 18 games played, 2 hits, 17 at-bats, 2 walks, and 1 hit by pitch. The 3-0, Sanchez grooves one down the middle, 3-1. And how aggressive do you want to be with the bullpen here if you're Coach Hernandez back end of a 3-game set? Sanchez misses and there's 2 aboard with nobody out.
Well, it's an interesting question. It's a great opportunity to get Sanchez a ton of experience and a ton of different opportunities, and one like this is one where he's going to need to know what that approach looks like with 2 on now and nobody out. But at the same time, you don't want to drop one. You don't want to play, we were talking about over the break, you don't want to play not to lose the game. You want to play to win. Bullpen is still pretty shallow. They haven't used a ton of arms, but there's a lot of injuries, guys who probably could still do with one more weekend of rest before they really start to get their work in. So I think he'll have a bit of a leash.
2 on, nobody out. Bunt is going to be hit. Cam Santerre got hit on the leg, and there's bases loaded, nobody out. And look out, here come the Seawolves.
Looks like we're going to have a conversation here from the pitching coach. Joel Sanchez is going to come out. Everybody in the field are going to come in, have a little conversation. We'll have somebody trot on down to the bullpen now. What you got to avoid is a rally now. If you let a couple come in here, make it 8-3, it's not the worst thing in the world. But if you let guys keep moving them up, especially with the way the bats have kind of gotten a little swing happy the last couple innings, you got to make sure you hold on to this. You don't want to have to be back in fight to survive mode.
Single walk hit by pitch to Azpilicueta, Zepek, and Santerre. And the bases are full of Seawolves with nobody out. The batter is Kincaid Berghold, who struck out his first time up. It seems like Sanchez is kind of falling off a cliff with his command. He had 4 strikeouts in the first 2 innings and nothing since. That might be Stony Brook, second time through the order, just seeing him a little bit better.
I'm sure the conversation went a lot like, just because we're up a bunch, don't take the foot off the gas. Approach it, with a little bit more of a sense of urgency here.
Fastball strike at the knees to Berghold. I would expect Sanchez to come out and attack, hit the hitter here. You're a ground ball away from a double play and almost getting out of the inning. The 0-1 chopped towards short. Villafañe stumbled, and the ball gets away and rolls all the way to the first base bullpen. That'll score everybody. In from third is Azpilicueta. Zepek from second. Santerre from first. All the way to third on the air goes Berghold. And it's 8-4.
And now that door starts to creak open a little bit. And not necessarily the pitching, it's defensive plays like that that are going to let another team right back into it. You can't see a lapse on that side of the ball. And just like the backstop being so deep out there, that bullpen area has got a ton of little corners where the ball can kind of careen off of, and you never know where it's going to end up. It's a long run from first to get all the way out there. Does you no favors.
Not sure how to score that. First pitch breaking ball outside to Chance Doty, who grounded out. Grounded out to second his first time up. I'm guessing it's a fielder's choice and then a 2-base error.
Yep. That's what the official score would agree with you.
and then 2 bases on the E6. So Aspilicueta scores, Zepek scores, Santerre scores, and Berghold goes all the way to third. There's still nobody out in the inning. And from an 8-0 game, it's now 8-4. Sunday scaries here at the Jack.
I mean, we did say we had a lot of games like this, back and forth, comebacks, blown leads. Sunday baseball is always kind of an anomaly. You never really know what's going to happen. Ton of guys over down there in the bullpen for BCU now getting warm.
Fouled away by Doty. Doty, the junior from Washington State. There's a strike, and the count goes full. Transfer from Edmonds Community College. As he looks to bring this one within 3 with a base hit here. And he swings and misses at a ball in the dirt. Here comes the runner from third. He'll score as they got the out at first. So Doughty strikes out, and Berghold comes home on the throw.
You don't see that a ton. I mean, that's some heads-up base running from Stony Brook there to kind of force a quick decision from BCU. It's either you give up the run over at first, or in this case, you allow the run to score. Not sure what you'd want to do over on that if you knew the runner was going to go for it like that.
Now here's the 9-hole hitter, Matt Maselli, puts it in the air to right center field. Figueroa moving back to the track, and he makes the catch.
Well, maybe now you can take a little bit of solace knowing the runner would have come in to score anyway. Just would have come via the sac fly instead of the old strikeout.
First baseman number 44, Eric Paulson.
So now back to the top of the order, Eric Paulson. He's 0 for 3, a strikeout and a pop out on the infield. Fouls one away. And he's seen his team bring this one back to a 3-run deficit with 4 in the inning, 5 in the last 2. And I think no matter how far this goes, this is probably the end for Edwin Sanchez. And you'd think you'd want a little bit more out of your starting pitcher on a Sunday. Look at the overshift from the BCU infield. They got 3 on the right-hand side. Couldn't do that in the majors.
All for the band shift, man. Drives me nuts. Now we're going to swap fielders
So we've
here.
got the third baseman, Martinez, over there. The only player on the left-hand side is the shortstop, Villafane. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1 and 2. And if I'm Paulson, I'm looking at this going, I might bunt this. or try and just put it opposite field.
You can get it anywhere on the third base side of the field. It's a base hit.
And he does. Just goes with it opposite way and gets a base hit to left.
I mean, that is an outstanding piece of hitting right there. I mean, you see exactly what the defense is giving you, and to have the ability to go opposite field like that, really easy. I mean, nothing special about that hit, but just a textbook opposite field right to where nobody is over past the shortstop position. Easy base hit. I mean, that is a really, really impressive play to be able to do that.
Here's Evan Goforth, singled in the first, was stranded on second, and flied out to left in the third. 1 on, 2 out, 4 already in the frame for the Seawolves as he fouls it off the end of the bat, 0-1. Wildcats will stay home for the next couple of weekends. Long homestand to begin the year. They'll get Florida International on Wednesday night. And then UMass next weekend. A series I'm sure you're looking forward to, Mr. New England.
Yeah, my family's got a place, 15 minutes from the main campus there in Amherst. Interesting place athletically, that entire department over there. Really been bolstered a lot by the hockey program. Otherwise, an embarrassing football program. Basketball struggled a little bit. Interesting.
I don't know anything about the baseball program. Of course, I'll do my research before they get down here.
It was non-scholarship for a long time. I don't think that's the case anymore. But Northeast college sports are interesting anyway.
Big cut and miss, and the count is 1 and 2 on Goforth.
Just like it's not a priority up there. It's very much a pro area, whether it's New York or Boston or There's a few towns, you talk about like Providence or even in Connecticut, it's a little more prominent over there.
1-2. In the dirt, ball gets away from the catcher, and Paulson will go to second on the wild pitch. Yeah, and it's weird, growing up down here where college sports is religion in the Southeast.
This is very, very different. Very different.
So a runner on 2nd and 2 down now for Goforth. And Goforth calls for time. Evan Goforth, the senior from Borden, Indiana, transfer from IU. Played for the Seawolves last year, 27 starts, 21 hits in those 27 games. Chance to bring the Seawolves within 2 here, and he grounds one foul into the BCU dugout. His freshman year at Indiana, only played in 15 games. But he was named Big Ten All-Freshman year. Now the 2-2. Breaking ball outside corner. No call from Jesus Morel, and the count runs full. 2 arms going in the BCU bullpen. A lot of scanning around going on over there for Stony Brook. Nobody throwing. Wildcats trying to get out of a frame where Stony Brook's already scored 4 runs. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball to short. Villafane over to first, and that's the end of the inning. 4 runs on 2 hits, an error, and 1 left on. And we go to the 5th. We got a game now. It's 8-5. Bethune-Cookman over Stony Brook here on the CatEye Network. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Wildcats hanging on to an 8-5 lead after the Stony Brook Seawolves plated 4 in the 4th. New pitcher on the hill for Stony Brook. This is Hunter Colagrande. Gets a big swing and miss from Jesus Venegas, who homered in the 1st, grounded out to 3rd in the 2nd. That one, a line drive back up the middle, base hit for Jesus Venegas. And the Wildcats have one on with nobody out.
Much better approach. I mean, Venegas, what a day at the plate so far for him. Just solid contact every time he's touched the ball. But we were a little bit worried, swinging a little bit too much, maybe hunting fences, maybe just looking for some stats here, up so many. Now you kind of got to get back into, listen, we need some more insurance in this game with a bullpen that's still a little banged up early on in the season.
Another freshman for Stony Brook making his debut, Hunter Colagrande. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. This is Armani Newton, who has 2 home runs today. Both of them off the starter, Rizzo. And the second was what chased Rizzo from the ball game back in the second. Fouls went off, and it's 0-2. Colagrande from Kings Park, New York. Kings Park High School. Had a 1.08 ERA and 76 strikeouts as a junior. And led the team to the state final. Went 10-0 that season with 104 strikeouts. As a senior. A really talented high school pitcher. See what he does at the college level, trying to get his team back into the game down 3. Here's the 1-2 to Newton. Way outside, 2-2. It's like, welcome to college baseball. Here's a guy that's mashed 2 home runs already today.
Always has a way of finding you, whether it's on defense or it's on the mound. You're going to get thrown right into it.
Venegas on first. That one low. Count goes full on Newton. That's a tough pitch to lay off of. Newton, the Florida Gulf Coast transfer, 2 homers today, both to right field. And he watches one low for ball 4. They throw down to second. It doesn't matter because it was ball 4. So there's 2 on, nobody out. Venegas goes to second, and Armani Newton on to first.
Number 5, Michael Rodriguez.
It's always funny when I have to write in a scoreboard like, hey, home run, walk.
Yep.
It's like, well, they figured it out.
Maybe don't throw him a lot of strikes.
Here's Michael Rodriguez, who doesn't have a hit tonight, but he scored twice on a walk and a hit by pitch. Swings through that first fastball offering from Colagrande. Venegas on second, Newton on first. There's a strike at the knees, 0-2. Rodriguez in his first 2 games had 2 runs on 3 hits, the most of any Wildcat over the first 2 games of this series. And he watches one bounce to the plate, 1-2. Good job by Zepek behind the plate to backstop that one. And both teams have done a really good job on some wild pitches this weekend. Haven't really seen many get to the backstop. 1-2 from Colagrande. Swing and a miss. And that one dipped away from Rodriguez, and there's 1 down. First college strikeout for Hunter Colagrande. There's 1 away. Here's another guy that's mashed the ball today. Andre Martinez has a single and a ground rule double in the contest. He's also scored 2 of the Wildcats' 8 runs. It's been the middle of the order. Venegas, Newton, Rodriguez, Martinez, and Sufrain doing the damage. And then, of course, the triple by Darrell Lee back in the first inning. Outside and low, ball 1. And you move Daniel Figueroa to the 1 spot, and he's 0 for 3. You bring in Jamie Villafaña to be your table setter at the 9 spot, he's 0 for 2. Big cut and miss. And it's 1-1 on Martinez.
Well, lineup shifts early in the season. I mean, it's not until probably about a month or so in until you start to see the same core settle into place. I expect we'll see a ton of movement first couple weekends.
1-1 popped sky high into right field down the first base line, moving over towards the corner, and that'll be foul into the construction going on down there. New clubhouses, new offices going to be built behind that right field wall. But right now it's just a bunch of dirt. They took out the tennis courts. They took out the old office that was over there.
Well, last summer we went to a really nice groundbreaking ceremony out here that the Tortugas hosted to kind of kickstart a lot of the main construction they've been doing. Of course, new this year since last year, there's a new roof over our heads, new fans.
New seats.
Up top, new seats.
Oh, here. Oh, that's a big old breaking ball, and Martinez was way early on it. So a single and a walk, then 2 straight strikeouts for Cola Grande. There's 2 outs for Manny Sufrain, who's got 2 singles in the ball game. Single to left and scored his first time up. Single to center, and got 2 RBIs for it in the second. That was the last run the Wildcats had back in the second inning. Quiet since then. Grounds 1, foul outside of first. This would be big for Cola Grande if he could settle in here and hold the Wildcats after 2 got on with nobody out. After the Wildcats were unable to hold the Seawolves back in the top of the frame, they got 4 runs. Big breaking ball, catches the zone at the knees, and Sufrain doesn't agree with it. The count is 0-2. As the clouds start to coalesce here above Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Rain expected around 3 o'clock. It's 1:17 Eastern time right now. The 0-2. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. 3 straight strikeouts for Hunter Cola Grande, and the Wildcats get nothing. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left, and we go to the 5th. It's 8-5, Bethune-Cookman over Stony Brook.
Well,
Johnny Pilla leads things off for Stony Brook, takes a strike from Edwin Sanchez, who's still on the hill into the 5th inning. Last time up, Pilla started the scoring for the Seawolves with an RBI double to the gap in right center that scored Matt Maselli from first. But he was caught trying to stretch it to 3, and that ended the inning back in the 3rd. And he hits this one down the line in right field, and moving over to make an impressive catch is Darrell Lee on the move, 1 down.
one thing this Wildcats team has consistently fielded out there in the outfield is speed. I mean, there's guys that come in and year out, and they can run down the ball. I mean, I don't think it's a stretch to say they've had the best defensive outfield in the conference over the last 3 years or so. Just continue to put athletes out there who have a great eye for the ball, and that's another one there by Lee.
Here's Nico Aspilicueta. Started that big Stony Brook rally in the 4th with a leadoff single up the middle. Surprised to see Sanchez back out on the mound, Bryce, after that inning he had last inning?
Feels like one guy gets on, maybe you pull the plug sort of thing, but we already saw that kind of mentality cost Coach Hernandez once this weekend, so you hope it doesn't kickstart another rally here.
Fastball strike at the knees, 1-2 on Aspilicueta. Two guys standing out there in the Bethune-Cookman bullpen already warm and ready to come in. Sanchez throws pitch number 79. And it's a ball outside, 2-2. And at this point, you know, it's maybe more about getting your starter the requisite number of pitches. They probably have a pitch count they want to get to with Sanchez. Sky high pop center field. Figueroa barely has to move, and there's 2 down. That'll help. Some soft contact like that, other ground balls or pop flies. It'll help you keep your pitch count down. Here's Luke Zepek. Walked and scored in the 4th. Grounded out to the pitcher in the 1st. First pitch, fastball at the knees. And well, here comes Edwin Sanchez. Almost like Zambrano on Friday night, where he worked himself out of the jam and used all of his energy. He's fouled back to the screen 0-2. Could we be seeing kind of the reverse here, where we thought that Sanchez is out of gas, and then he comes in and turns it on?
Well, and again, that's what we saw from Zambrano on Friday night, as we thought he was gassed, struck out 3 straight.
Breaking ball, ground ball towards the first base hole. Nice pick by Venegas. The defense stellar for the Wildcats in the frame. 1, 2, 3 go the Seawolves. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 8-5 Wildcats here on the CatEye Network. Wildcats trying to increase their 3-run lead here in the bottom of the 5th as they forced the Seawolves to go 1, 2, 3 in the top of the inning. Jose Fernandez leads off for the Cats. He's 0 for 2 so far today. He struck out in the 1st and flied out to center field in the 2nd. And he hits this one in the air. First base line, long run for Bergthold. And he watches it go foul. Another one that has home run distance out down that right field line.
It's carrying a ton out there today. It's the little mixture of the wind that kind of calmed a little bit over the last couple innings, but still, man, giving it a ride out there opposite field.
Just a long strike. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball misses up and in, 1-1. Fernandez, the sophomore from Venezuela, and transfer from Monroe Junior College. Swings and misses it, a fastball outside and low, 1-2. So after the new pitcher, Colagrande, came on in the 4th for the Seawolves, he had allowed a base hit, a walk, and then strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. But bounces one out to the plate, and it's 2-2. And he struck out the guys that have been doing the damage. Michael Rodriguez, Andrew Martinez, and Manny Sufrain. Another one bounced to the plate, missed with the breaking ball. Count runs full. That's twice that Colagrande has gone to that breaking ball. And here's the full count delivery. Upstairs ball 4, and a second straight inning for the Wildcats with a no-out base runner as Fernandez takes his base. And here's Darrell Lee, who had the big hit to break it open in the 1st, a 3-run triple to right center. In the third inning, he grounded out to third in that 1-2-3 inning for the Cats. But Darrell Lee, someone who was around last year, didn't get a ton of playing time as he swings and misses at a fastball 0-1. But someone who figures to be a rotation piece in this Wildcats order this season.
Got to capitalize on opportunities. Haunted the Wildcats last 2 nights.
Down and in, ball 1 from Cola Grande, who's already up to 26 pitches in just an inning and a third. Bouncer to the plate. That's 4 of the last 5 pitches now. The Cola Grande is spiked in the dirt. And we got another Stony Brook arm warming up out there. Down the first base line of the bullpen. 2-1. Fouled away 2-2. The jack is interesting because the bullpens are in play. You don't see that a lot of places at the professional level. You see it more often at the college level.
Plenty of guys ducking and covering a lot. And part of where they're positioned, too, just so much space.
Ground ball to short, could be 2. Flip to second for 1. On to first. Double play. And there's 2 outs in the inning after Darrell Lee grounds out 4-6-3.
The Seawolves team is so good defensively. I mean, they have been all weekend. Some star plays, making the easy plays. They haven't hurt themselves. Just really great job on that side of the ball.
And now with 2 outs, here's Jamie Villafana. He's 0 for 2 on 2 real soft contacts. He had a bunt in the first and then tapped it to third in the third. The Wildcats, after that leadoff walk, threatened to go 1-2-3 again here. Counts 2-0. Jamie Villafana was someone who was in and out of the lineup for the Wildcats last year. Struggled with some injury problems. Inside 3-0. Is now a senior from Pembroke Pines and transferred from Florida State College at Jacksonville. 34 games played, 21 starts last year for Villafana. Here's a 3-0. Down the middle for strike 1. Hit .279 at a .444 on base percentage. He's used more often than not as a pinch runner because it was a hand injury. There's a check swing and a strike, and it's 3-2. Speaking of injuries, when the Wildcats down double-digit guys to start the season, Villafana muscles that one foul, stays alive. Jorge Gonzalez-Fabo figures to be the everyday third baseman after the great freshman year he had last year, is nowhere to be seen this weekend.
Oh, he did seem as a pinch runner last night. It's a little bit of a hand issue. Just being a lot of these injuries are an abundance of caution. Guys who should be ready to go within the next couple of weeks.
Upstairs, ball 4, and so 2 walks and a double play in the inning for the Wildcats, and there's a runner on with 2 out. Back to the top of the order for Daniel Figueroa, who's 0 for 3 tonight.
Coach Hernandez was very, very upfront about saying, hey, Manny's going to be our leadoff guy. We love him in the leadoff spot. That's putting our best hitter first, one of our pop guys first. And to already put him 6th and move Figueroa from 9 to 1 is an interesting reversal there.
Balk called against Cola Grande will move Jamie Villafana to scoring position with 2 down. First balk of the 2025 season. Will not be the last, I'm sure. So now the first pitch to Figueroa is low ball 1. But I remember we went to the radio station to record Hale Wildcats radio last week. Getting ready to do our big baseball preview segment as that one's chopped foul. The count 1-1 on Figueroa. And you said, "Oh, everybody's banged up." And I went, "They haven't played a game yet. What's going on?"
That's the same reaction that I had when Coach Hernandez is going down the list of, this guy's banged up, this guy's out a week, this guy's got this nagging him, this guy. It's like, Coach, what's going on, man? What are you doing to these kids in practice?
The 1-1 breaking ball that dirt 1-2.
Some of it's still kind of lingering from last year, too, I think. Guys like Yoancel Diaz kind of been nagged by his shoulder a little bit towards the end of last year. But then, of course, you just have your kind of freak things. I mean, Gonzalez-Fabo, it's a finger. I mean, it's just the way it goes.
Good backstopping by Zepek behind the plate to keep that one from going to the backstop. It's 3-1 on Figueroa. That's why baseball rosters are so big, especially why you carry so many pitchers, because things happen. There's a strike on the outside corner. Figgy was about to walk down to first base, and he's got to get back in and look at a 3-2. I mean, you look at the men's basketball team who fell to Alcorn last night. That's 7 guys healthy right now. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Figueroa didn't know whether to swing or not at that one. And the Wildcats, no runs, no hits, 1 left. And we go to the 6th. Wildcats still clinging to a 8-5 lead here on the CatEye Network. New pitcher for Bethune-Cookman as we head to the 6th inning. It's the first collegiate appearance for the freshman Isaiah Ducassi from Kissimmee, Florida, Orlando area. And he will be thrown into the fire to face Cam Santerre. Santerre struck out in the 2nd, was hit by a pitch and scored in that big 4th inning for Stony Brook. Ducassi, the right-hander, deals. There's a strike outside corner, 0-1. Prepped at both Osceola High School and Tohopekaliga High School in the Orlando area, Ducassi. Finished off at Sunshine State Elite Academy. Here's the 0-1. Slap towards 2nd. Venegas is there and makes the routine play for out number 1. Final line on Sanchez. He goes 5 innings and 85 pitches, gives up 5 runs on 5 hits, just 2 earned. Walked 2, struck out 5. Not a bad first foray to the mound on the season for Edwin Sanchez, who figures to be the main Sunday afternoon guy for the Wildcats this year. Of course, only two of those 5 runs earned because of the error at second base.
Looked strong to start, worked well with runners on base. Again, error cost him a little bit in the runs department.
Big cut and miss by Kincaid Bergthold.
A lot to like about the way this Wildcats team has pitched early in this year. Room for improvement, naturally.
Fastball outside corner, missed it. And it's 1-2. Bergthold on the day. Struck out in the second, reached on a fielder's choice. And then moved from first to third on the error that scored Azpilicueta, Zepek, and Santerre. That was the one that cost the Wildcats back in the fourth inning. It was a bases loaded, no out situation where the Wildcats looking to turn two. And from 2-0 up, Ducassi has thrown a couple straight balls. The count is 2-2. Oh, correction, the count is 3-1. The board just changed. That one hit in the air to left center field, moving over. Figueroa makes the catch. 2 away. And being a pitcher, especially at this level of baseball, is not all about the flashy stuff, the strikeouts, the buckled knees. It's mostly about the last 2 outs. Ground out, soft fly out to center field.
It's easy to get enamored with the idea of, I want to be like Nolan Santos was. I want to strike out 8 guys per outing, but you just don't need that. It's not really a recipe for success often.
Well, that's a ground ball to the shortstop. Diving stop by Villafana. He throws to first, and the throw is not in time. But that's saved at a base for the Wildcats as that was headed towards the gap. Great diving stop by Villafana. It's second and infield single for Chance Doughty.
Villafana, a guy who's earned his opportunities with this team because of his defense. It's a really nice play there, like you said. Saves an extra base there, which, very easily could sneak back in this. Could Stony Brook if they get a few opportunities like that.
Here's Matt Miceli, slider outside, ball 1. Miceli singled up the middle of the third, came around to score on the double by Johnny Pilla. That was the first Seawolf run of the game. And then flied out to center field in the fourth. Go back to first, sliding back in is Doty. That one low, and it's 2-0. With any of these freshmen, you got to be careful about command. You got to be careful about walking guys. 2-0. Low 3-0. Got to just come in and pound the zone. Let your defense work. I mean, he did it the first 2 batters, and then he got 1 hit off him, and it looks like it's kind of scared him a bit.
This is the 9-hitter.
The 3-0 is right down the middle for strike 1. So he does have it. He's just been biting at the bottom corner.
If you're gonna play it safe like that, I would do it against the next guy. I mean, Paulson could give it for a ride if you miss. 9-hitter, maybe not so much.
3-1, low ball. Oh, strike called. Wow. I thought that one was going to be low ball 4, but the count runs full on Miceli.
Looked like the strike zone we saw yesterday. Low and away, but given there, that call hasn't consistently been there today.
And the strike zone for Jesus Morelos wandered a little bit. Here's the 3-2. Swung on, ground ball up the middle. There's a base hit. Going from first to third is Doughty. And now the tying run comes to the plate in the form of Eric Paulson.
Well, 2 outs. You've got the base open at second.
Paulson launched the home run on Friday night that gave the Seawolves a lead that they would not relinquish after the Wildcats had come back to tie the game.
Yeah, he allowed the home run that put the Wildcats in front and then took it right back.
Runners on the corners, 2 outs here in the 6th. Stony Brook down 8-5. First pitch. Wildcats really aggressively playing that double steal. I mean, they employ it so much. It makes sense that they'd know how to defend it.
Yeah, last year it was mind-blowing that teams ever fell for it because it was a guarantee if you had first and third and outs to play with.
Ball low.
I don't mind that pitch there. Tried to go in on the hands there, almost tagged the corner.
2 balls, no strikes to Paulson. Ground ball up the middle. Scoring from third is Miceli. No, sorry, going from third is Doty. Going from first to third is Miceli, and it's a 2-run game. So 2 outs and then 3 straight hard singles against the freshman Ducasi.
You looked in the stats rolling into this weekend and how Stony Brook struggled with the bat last year. One of the worst performing teams in the CAA in a lot of, hitting statistics, and they have picked it up, man. They have come right in and looked nothing like that statistical team last year. They've hit the ball hard. They've hit it consistently. They've spread it everywhere. They're dangerous.
Breaking ball misses outside to Evan Goforth. Goforth singled in the first, then flied out to left and grounded out to the shortstop, his other 2 plate appearances. But Ducasi's kind of gotten in his own way with a lot of balls early in counts. That one smacked up the middle. That is going to be down in front of Figueroa, and it's a 1-run game. Miceli comes in from third. Paulson on to second. Goforth to first with an RBI single. And here comes Johnny Hernandez, and that might be the end of the first college appearance for Isaiah Ducasi.
Yeah, this bullpen approach is going to look a lot different than this weekend. We've talked about the injuries a couple times today. But this is a spot, I think, where Coach Hernandez would have much rather put someone with experience, whether that's Yoancel Diaz or, of course, Pablo Torres, who's, still out a little bit, coming back from an off-season surgery. This would be a prime opportunity where I think we would see Torres. Maybe a little bit early for a true save opportunity, but kind of your more, put your best arm in with the opportunity to win or hold. And so now you're seeing some guys get some opportunities where they otherwise might not quite be ready for, and we're figuring it out. So we'll see what the rest of the approach looks like, but with the rain kind of looming over us here, not sure how much longer before we start to see some droplets.
Wow. So Isaiah Ducasi gets 2 quick outs, then goes single, 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 2 runs in for Stony Brook. And it is 8-7 after the Wildcats led this one 8-0 after 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Now taking over on the mound for Bethune-Cookman, number 23, Jeffrey Gonzalez.
And it'll be Jeffrey Gonzalez on the hill
Gonzalez, the new pitcher
for the Wildcats. Someone we didn't see a lot last year, and when we did see him, he got hit pretty hard in those couple of outings. We'll get you through his numbers in a second.
Still a guy with experience, a guy who's got a year under the program. His brother was a part of the program as well. I think more so that's maybe what you're going for here is rather than a freshman, who hasn't seen a ton of time yet, still going to try to figure out the D1 level early on in the season. Try to slow things down. It's just been a game of just moving guys up. They haven't done it with the long ball like they done earlier this weekend, have the Seawolves, but they just kept it moving. Climbed back into it, consistent, good at-bats, gotten on base early, made it happen again with 2 outs. It's kind of been a microcosm of what we've seen from the team a lot this weekend.
Jeffrey Gonzalez makes his first appearance of the 2025 season. Last year, made 16 appearances out of the bullpen. Actually had a 3-1 record on the mound. With a 5.12 ERA and 19 1/3 innings, 24 strikeouts, 14 walks, and an opponent batting average of .276. Has had some summer collegiate ball opportunities outside of Bethune-Cookman, the Bristol State Liners of the Appalachian League and the Williamsport Crosscutters of the MLB Draft League the last 2 off seasons.
Now batting number 24, Johnny Pilla.
And so here we go. 2 outs, 2 already in the inning. The lead is 1 for the Wildcats, 8-7. And the batter is Johnny Pilla with first and second to face Jeffrey Gonzalez. 1 swing of the bat, and Stony Brook could take the lead here. The music is still going, even though the ball's in play. That shouldn't happen. Now
There it goes.
there it goes. Somebody found the off switch. Count is 1-0 after the first pitch pitched inside to Pilla. Pilla's been on base 2 out of 3 times today. Watches one up at the letters, strike one. Walked in the first, stranded there, and then hit an RBI double in the third, was thrown out trying to stretch it to a triple. That put the Seawolves on the board when it was 8-0 Wildcats back in the top of the third inning. Feels like a lifetime ago. Breaking ball doesn't find the zone, and it's 2-1. There's been so much hard contact in this inning off of Ducasi. You fear it now for Stony Brook. Anything off the bat has the potential for 2 runs. That one dribbled towards second. Covering first is Gonzalez, and the Wildcats get out of the inning. 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 left, and the Wildcat lead is just 1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th here on the CatEye Network. To the bottom of the 6th we go. The Wildcats scored 8 runs in the first 2 innings and have had nothing since, as Stony Brook has climbed and climbed their way back in. It is now 8-7 Bethune-Cookman, and a new pitcher on the hill for Stony Brook. The 3rd straight freshman out of the pen for the Seawolves forces Jesus Venegas to foul one off. This is George Adams, the freshman lefty from Massapequa, New York. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Late decision there by Venegas to attack the breaking ball. The Massapequa High School product, Adams, deals the 0-2. Swing and a miss. 3 straight swings and misses, and down goes Jesus Venegas, his first strikeout of the day. Before that, he had homered, singled, and grounded out to third. And Venegas just looked lost, as George Adams has significantly reduced the velocity that we've seen from Calagrande and Scambani. That time he throws a fastball, first pitch to Armani Newton, who's been on all 3 times, 2 solo homers and a walk.
Sometimes the adjustment from high velocity to this can be a tough one to make for collegiate batters.
And 2 straight strikes as Newton just watches it. And another strikeout.
We're talking about the momentum game. It's all back on the Seawolves now. You punch out another one here, that dugout's going to explode.
Yeah. George Adams, the former winner of the Doug Robbins Diamond Award, only the 3rd player in Massapequa High School history to get that. As a senior, he was 5-0 with a 1.01 ERA over 41 1/3 innings.
I'm just stunned he threw a ball finally.
Yeah, first one of his college career. That one's in the zone at the knees. The batter is Michael Rodriguez. Not sure if that's a plane or thunder.
That's a good guess.
1-1. Breaking ball misses out of the zone, 2-1 to Rodriguez, who's walked and hit by a pitch in the first 2 innings. Both of those he came around to score. Then he struck out in the 4th. Wildcats have struck out 8 times tonight. Fastball in there for a strike, 2-2. It's been very feast or famine. 8 strikeouts, 9 hits for Bethune-Cookman. 2-2. Ground ball to second. Pillar doesn't have to move, and 1, 2, 3 go the Cats. And Stony Brook. They've scored 7 straight runs. They've got a chance to tie or take the lead, go into the top of the 7th. When we come back, this is Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Network. There's a lot of noise coming from the Stony Brook dugout last year, or right now, as they've scored 7 straight runs after the Wildcats played at 8 the first 2 innings. Nico Aspilicueta leads off here in the top of the 7th as the rain bears down here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Breaking ball strike from Jeffrey Gonzalez, who came in to get out of the jam after Isaiah Ducasi let up 4 straight hits. Breaking ball outside and low, ball 1. Aspilicueta on the day struck out in the first, singled and scored in the 4th, and flew out to center in the 5th. Chop foul at home plate, 1-2. Jeffrey Gonzalez, 24 strikeouts in 16 appearances, 19 and a third innings last year. Not someone who's gonna go more than a couple of innings, you feel. But coming down to the end of a weekend, Bryce, you got to ask yourself who's left in the back end of that bullpen.
There's certainly some bodies down there. I mean, we haven't seen Marcos Gamboa, we know, is capable of giving you some length. Bunch of newcomers.
2-2. Upstairs, 3-2, missed on the slider. And the problem for the Wildcats has been walks. Full count delivery from Gonzalez. Swing and a miss, got him with the fastball outside corner. And that's the first strikeout for Bethune-Cookman since the 4th inning.
Seagulls just put bat on ball. Or they've been patient when hasn't really been their opportunity. Just they're such a mature team at the plate, the way they've handled everything all weekend.
Here's Lucas Zepek. First pitch to the catcher is a ball inside. Zepek 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. Grounded out to the pitcher in the third and the second baseman in the fifth. Walked and scored in the fourth. Fastball high, 2-0. We've talked ad nauseum the last couple years about getting ahead of hitters. You know, you start 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, and it gives the hitters all the chance in the world as this one goes 0-3 to get back into count and start mashing baseballs. You can't be as creative on the mound if you're behind like this. 3-0. Ball 4. 4 straight. I mentioned walks the issue for the Wildcats. There's another one.
Talk about first pitch strikes. That's one of the things that separates a guy like Tanner Bocabello from the rest of the rotation. He's consistently done that. Just attacking the zone, getting up early, and then he has all the freedom to do whatever he wants. When you struggle to do that, it gets away from you, and it does it in a hurry.
Here's Cam Santerre, 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch and a run scored back in the fourth inning. First pitch outside and low from Jeffrey Gonzalez. And with only a 1-run lead, how long do you let Jeffrey Gonzalez go out there if you're Coach Hernandez? The 1-0. Inside and low, 2-0. 6 straight balls for Jeffrey Gonzalez.
Don't have a lot of time to let him figure it out now with 2 guys going in the bullpen.
There's a fastball strike. 2-1. Wildcats looking to avoid being swept at home for the first time since 2003. When Florida Atlantic came in here and swept the Wildcats. There's a big swing and miss from Santerre, and the count runs full. The last time they lost their first 2 before this year was at Mercer in 2018. And the last time they got swept in a season opening series overall, as there's a foul tip at home plate, count holds full, was in 2015 at Georgia Southern. The home field advantage has been very kind to the Wildcats. This is the first time they'll lose a home opening series in the Johnny Hernandez era. Here's the pitch. Up and in, ball 3. I apologize, I thought the count was full before. It is now. Those dark clouds getting more and more persistent here above Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Pitch. Swung on, grounded to third. It will be foul. What a great play at third by Martinez. But it's a foul ball.
It looked fair from up here, but they got a much better look at it. I thought it kicked up chalk right before Martinez gloved it over there at third.
Now, how would it do that?
Well, that's right. It's paint. I didn't literally mean I saw it kick up chalk. It was more of an expression. But you're right. There it is painted on. That's totally just a reaction from watching so many years of baseball. Not like I'd see chalk come up from here anyway.
Everything outside the pitcher's mound and the area directly around home plate is turf here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Ground ball, foul outside of third, and it's 3-2 again. Wildcats will stay home, have a Wednesday nighter against FIU. Stony Brook will stay in Florida. They don't play a midweeker, but next weekend they got 3 against Florida Gulf Coast down at Fort Myers. That's ball 4. 2 straight walks after an opening strikeout for Jeffrey Gonzalez, and there's 2 on with 1 out. And that's the end for Jeffrey Gonzalez, with now the go-ahead run at first base for Stony Brook. But Gonzalez comes in, faces 4 batters, 1 at the back end of the 6th, and then 3 this inning. Walks 2 of them and strikeouts 1. And the batter will be Kincaid Bergthold.
Looks like it's going to be Marcos Gamboa going Going with the experience.
Your attention,
A
please.
guy that hasn't really been used as a
Taking
reliever,
over on the mound for Bethune-Cookman.
primarily that
Number 13,
midweek or Saturday
Marcos
starter, but
Gamboa.
you're going to hope. He's been around the block here a few years now.
He's even gotten some weekend looks the past couple years, Marcos Gamboa.
Kind of floated around the Saturday spot, but especially towards the end of the year. He found a groove early, but then at the end of the year struggled a little bit, and then into the SWAC tournament. And now is in a relief role for the time being. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the midweek spot a lot. And certainly a guy who has the ability to find his way back into the rotation. I'm certain we will see him in spot starts at some point.
Well, last night, we saw the first start of the year for Joel Corey, who as a freshman last year was excellent. Picked up his third career quality start last night, even though Stony Brook came back to win the game 3-2. He's someone even last year as a freshman just thrown to the wolves in those midweek starts. We said coming down to the end of the year, he may get a weekend look.
It really was shocking to me that that wasn't the plan immediately from the end of the season last year. I know as a coach's job, it's always to make it an open competition, let guys win the job. But Corey, to me, last year, seeing the way he threw the ball, the USF game sticks out in particular as one where he was really, really, really strong on the mound. His stuff is electric. He's got the endurance to give you longer starts. It absolutely felt like he should have come into this season with a Saturday job, and he did. He came out and won it.
Go-ahead run on first, tying run on second, one out here in the seventh. Here's Kincaid Bergfold. And Marcos Gamboa deals. Breaking ball catches the inside corner, strike one. Gamboa last year started 13 games, 3-5 record on the year, 5.76 ERA, 34 strikeouts, 29 walks, opponent batting average of 281. And he's in here in a real tough spot. That one smacked to left field, a base hit. Here comes the tying run to the plate. The throw is wide, and the game is tied at 8. Bergfold, RBI single, scores Zepek from second, and it is 8-8 in the seventh.
Well, nobody's been able to stop the bleeding here for the Wildcats. Doesn't matter fresh inning or not, they just continue to hit the ball, to make that contact, and more often than not, it's falling when guys aren't. They're just long at bats and balls in play.
Santerre on second, Bergfold on first. The batter is Chance Doughty. First pitch, a strike. This is the first relief appearance for Marcos Gamboa since 2023, where he had 5 appearances out of the pen with a 4.71 ERA. The wind starting to whip up here. 0-1. Breaking ball, hammered into center field and deep. Going back is Figueroa, and it's gone. 11-8 Stony Brook.
Well, you can call it what you want. You can call it letting your foot off the gas. You can call it injuries in the bullpen. You can call it just not quite being ready yet, as a bullpen unit. But I give all the credit here to Stony Brook. I mean, they've worked long at bats. They've done what the Wildcats want to do. They've done what any team wants to do. You get to the bullpen, you get to it fairly early, and then you just keep pounding it from there. They know for a fact the Wildcats team is undermanned. They know what they have available. They know that it's not necessarily as strong as some of their starters, and they have absolutely capitalized.
4 runs in the inning for Stony Brook, matching the 4 they put up in the fourth, with 1 in the third and 2 in the fifth. That one a ground ball to third, and Miceli is out on the throw by Martinez. 2 away.
First baseman Eric Paulson.
Looks like we might have another call to the pen here.
Wild. And you think 2 outs, nobody on. You maybe think you try and let Gamboa finish it off, but top of the order coming up with Eric Paulson, who 2 for 4 tonight, strikeout, pop out. 2 singles, the second one of them an RBI single back in the 6th. This is a tough one for the Wildcats.
It is, man. I mean, we were up here, they were down there. I mean, just feeling like we're just going to cruise to this one. Offensively, I think you did kind of settle in a little bit too much, got a little too comfortable. We saw some really quick innings and then just chipping away. I mean, that's what you should look to do if you're down by such a big chunk early. You know, you get 1 in the 3rd, you put up a 4 spot in the 4th, 2 in the 6th, 4 in the 7th, just gradually climbing back in it. And it really did feel like a couple innings now that it was only a matter of time before they put up another crooked number and they climb back in front on this one. Just such a gritty team until they're well coached.
Angel Lopez is going to come on to pitch for the Wildcats, the junior transfer from Seminole State College, originally from Puerto Rico. Trying to get the last out of the 7th. I mean, the Wildcats are not out of this by any means. The bats could wake up at any moment, but they've been scoreless since the 2nd inning. And really quick innings. Swinging early in counts, striking out a ton. It's like they got to 8 runs and thought, oh, well, that's all we need. We're done here. And, well, you're not.
And it's really after that 4th inning where you can look at the bats and say, hey, now, like, you knew this was coming. You knew that the pressure was on. This wasn't a blowout by any means. Seawolves have remained in this game, and to continue to just allow quick innings for the Seawolves defense is not what you want, because even when the bats weren't clicking for Stony Brook, they continued to work deep into counts, running back from 0-2 counts. Even if they didn't always result in base hits or guys on taking walks, taking hit by pitches, putting pressure on the base paths, and eventually it makes you pay.
Angel Lopez has been around the state of Florida. Played his high school baseball at Montford Academy, that great program up in North Florida. Seems like every sport they're dominant in: basketball, baseball, soccer, softball. His first pitch is a fastball, strike outside and low.
Look at the difference in the shift on him this time. We went from the entire infield crowded over on the first base side to now that side of the field is wide open.
Well, because he did the correct thing, and that ball is bounced to the plate. That's the first one we've seen hit the backstop tonight. No harm, nobody on base. But yeah, we saw that overshift on him, and he just poked the ball into left field, got an RBI single out of it.
There's a lot of space up the middle.
1-1. Check swing is a strike, and it's 1-2. I hear the cars. The Daytona 500 is underway from down the street.
Hope they're not getting any rain down there. It looks dark in that direction, but they're going, so.
We hope we can squeeze the back part of this game in with the rain on the way. Ground ball softly hit towards second. A long run for Venegas, but he makes the play to end the inning. But 4 runs on 2 hits and nobody left. And the Stony Brook Seawolves have taken the lead. It is 11-8 here at the Jack as we go to the bottom of the 7th here on the CatEye Network. Well, we go to the bottom of the 7th, and, well, we're right back where we were the last 2 days, Bryce. Stony Brook 11, Bethune-Cookman 8. After the first 2 innings, we thought we might get out of here easy today. Not so. Andrew Martinez leads off against the freshman George Adams, who was unbelievable in his first college inning of work last inning. 2 strikeouts, 2 really big strikeouts on Venegas and Newton, and then the soft ground ball to short. To second, excuse me. Martinez singled and scored in the first, hit a ground rule double and scored in the second, and then struck out in the 4th. And he's behind, count is even, excuse me, at 1-1. Here's the pitch from Adams. Swing and a miss, and the Wildcats have had no answer to that little changeup that just breaks straight down right at home plate. It sat Venegas and Newton down, both swinging. 1-2. That one smacked into left field. Oh, wow. What a play by Maselli. I thought that was destined for the gap, but Maselli makes the catch on the line out, and there's one away.
Well, kind of just died, like it rolled over in midair. It sounded really great off the bat, and then just kind of fluttered out and didn't even really have to take much of a step there.
Wildcats have been victims of some really good Stony Brook defense. Here comes the overshift from Manny Soufrain. Soufrain has 2 RBI singles today, as that one is smashed foul. And then a strikeout of the 4th.
Remember Manny laid down a bunt in the SWAC tournament. I don't remember if it was for a hitter to move runners up. We got a similar shift on him like this. I just laid one down.
There's nobody on that third base side. He's trying to put it the other way, and he puts it foul. Trying to do the exact same thing that Paulson did a couple of innings ago. He's behind 0-2 to Adams, who's been a strikeout machine. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. A 3rd strikeout for Adams in 5 batters.
Man, he took a bit of an issue, didn't think he went there. But, I mean, I just give credit to Adams. He's attacking the zone.
Well, Stony Brook had an all-freshman player last year, freshman All-American in Paulson. Have they maybe found another one here as Jose Fernandez looks silly? Out of fastball in on the hands, 0-1. And he misses another one, 0-2.
It's like they're trying to do a little too much now. A lot of swings, a lot of big swings. But they're kind of being forced to because Adams hasn't missed the zone much.
That one barely outside. The Seawolves started to walk off the field. And it's 1-2. Fernandez today, 0 for 2 with a walk, was caught in the middle of a double play in the 5th. Other than that, struck out and flied out to left. Swings and misses, and that's it. 4 strikeouts in 6 batters for George Adams, and the other 2 were soft contact to short and second. The Wildcats have a lot of work to do. It starts on the defensive side. We go to the 8th. It's 11-8 Seawolves here on the CatEye Network. We go to the 8th. It's been a heck of a comeback for Stony Brook as they've scored 11 straight runs to take the lead after the Wildcats scored 8 in the first 2 innings. But that's just the nature of Sunday baseball here at the college ranks. Evan Goforth leads off the 8th for Stony Brook, singled in the first, flew out to left in the third, grounded out to short in the fourth, and singled in the 6th. Single of the RBI variety. And he got hit, or at least he dove out of the way.
Sounded like he got hit.
It did sound like he got hit from Angel Lopez coming up and in. It looks like he'll stay in the box. We were talking during the break, Bryce, about the craziness that is Southwestern Athletic Conference men's basketball right now. There is a 6-way tie for second place at 7-4. That's unbelievable.
In any conference.
How does that happen?
In any conference. I mean, a ton of parity. It's unlike last few years where there's been a few teams that have kind of come out of it. I mean, anybody can win this thing. I mean, anybody. If the Wildcats is healthy, who knows? Jackson State's great. Texas Southern's always looming.
Fouled away. 2-1 the count to Goforth. But yeah, I mean, but if the Wildcats fall tomorrow night to Jackson State, they have a chance to go from 2nd to 7th in 2 days. Right,
which those last few spots can be a little treacherous when you go into that play-in game.
Fouled away again, 2-2.
With the new SWAC conference schedule, with all but 2 teams getting in those last 2 playoff spots, that 9 and 10 seed, you got to play a day early, got to kind of play your way into the thing. We'll be back at Moore Gym tomorrow night.
Big one against Jackson State for the men who just didn't look at the races last night against Alcorn State. And Alcorn State, especially.
Remind you, no artificial noise makers, please, especially after pitching.
Last night, they just looked out of sorts against Alcorn State, but a team in Alcorn that has had our number now, 7-1 against Bethune-Cookman in the last 4 years.
Yep. I mean, credit to that team. They looked really bad in non-conference, and they have come out of the SWAC swinging.
Full count delivery for Jeffrey Gonzalez. Goforth stays alive with a foul ball. Big credit to the Wildcat women last night, picking up the win over Alcorn State. Staying alive. I mean, if they had lost last night, there was a chance that they would have slipped below the playoff line into 11th place, but they stay alive. Got to pick up a couple more wins down the stretch to guarantee that they'll be in Atlanta at the end of the month. 3-2. Upstairs ball for another leadoff walk for Stony Brook. Their 4th of the game.
That's where it starts. Because now the entire pitching staff has looked a touch different when guys have been on base. It's one thing has led to another.
Here's Johnny Pillow, walked in the first. RBI double in the third. Flew out to right in the 5th and grounded out to second in the 6th. First pitch from Jeffrey Gonzalez is a breaking ball strike. Softball has gone final over in DeLand. The Stetson Hatters get their revenge on Bethune-Cookman with a 2-0 win. But credit to softball this weekend. I mean, we thought coming off of a UNF doubleheader where it didn't look very good. Here's the 0-1. Upstairs 1-1. That they would get torched out in Hatterland this weekend. But they went 3-2.
And it's the offense that's, you know, what was the promising sign. We know they can pitch. We know what Haleen Gonzalez is capable of. And the bats hadn't quite followed behind. And to put some runs on the board, we saw a home run on the first day, which is very uncharacteristic of that Wildcats team.
Big cut and miss by Pilla, and the count is 1-2. But yeah, they need to put 8 on Fairfield and then 7 on Stetson last night.
It's certainly much more promising look. They got a big week this week, man. Off to California for their annual trip out there against some of the best in the country.
The wind in the last 30 seconds has really picked up. We're scrambling as things are falling off the table here.
It looks as rainy as it's looked, as the people here at the Jag, nice little crowd, all shift under the awning with us here.
Everybody running for cover. 2 balls, 2 strikes. No outs with a runner on first. Jeffrey Gonzalez deals. Outside 3-2.
He's having trouble getting it down. Everything in the AB, everything since he's come in this inning has been up, up, up. Can't quite get that breaking ball to bite down into the zone. Or he'll try a little too hard and leave one hanging, though.
The temperature has also dropped about 20 degrees in the past minute and a half. Here's a pitch. Swung on, hit the third, and past the diving glove of Martinez. That's going to go all the way to the corner. Losing his helmet is Goforth. He's digging for third, and he'll dig for home. Relay throw to the plate, not there. And it's 12-8 Stony Brook.
We saw a decent diving effort out there for Martinez, but that one, textbook down the line. Wait, we have another run come in?
Is that an inside the park? Well, Johnny Hernandez is not happy because coming all the way around is Johnny Pilla. I'm not sure why. So is that it?
No,
No,
he's
on
second.
second. I'm not sure. That was Goforth coming into score. I'm not sure what Coach Hernandez is complaining about.
I'm not sure.
Did he think he may have been a ground rule double because it got stuck under the wall out there in left field? Anyway, it's a double of the RBI variety for Johnny Pila, scoring Goforth, and with no outs in the inning, it's 12-8 Stony Brook. Angel Lopez throws it back to second. Here's Nico Aspilicueta, struck out in the first, singled and scored in the fourth, flew out to center in the fifth, struck out in the seventh. Aspilicueta did a lot of the damage for the Seawolves in their 7-4 win on Friday night. There's a big cut and miss, and it's 0-1. You wonder if we're going to get to finish this one tonight.
Or how long they'll wait if a delay does happen.
Stony Brook not going home. They're staying in Florida, so it's not like they have a flight to catch. But if we do go to a delay, we'll stay on air as long as possible and give you updates if and when they are available. Here's the 1-1. Check swing up at the letters, and Aspilicueta didn't go. 2 balls and a strike.
BCU Golf back in action today. First action of the spring season. They're up in Montgomery for an Alabama State event, the Spring Classic, Arrowhead Country Club.
And they are not here dealing with the rain.
They're probably done for the day, but scores haven't been input quite yet.
Yeah, I looked this morning to see if there was live scoring. There was not.
I think there's supposed to be, but golf stat can always be kind of weird from my experience being out there. I also, truthfully, haven't looked close enough. I don't know if they're playing 36 or 18. I would assume it's 36 today.
Fouled straight back by Aspilicueta. The count is full at 3-2. You can hear the recap from golf, basketball, baseball, softball, all the things on Hail Wildcats Radio.
Another episode that undoubtedly our producer Larry Steele will be angry at us for going long.
He has to cut it up to run on the radio for an hour, and the last couple of weeks we've talked for an hour and a half, hour 45
It's
minutes.
tough. I feel like we go fast, man. There's just so much going on. We want to give everybody a chance. At least we don't have track this week. That's one less thing we trimmed down a little bit. Although,
and then next week we got to give a big segment to track because it's SWAC Championships. Anyway, Hail Wildcats Radio. You can find it on any podcast app: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Anchor. As walking for the second time in the inning are the Seawolves. Aspilicueta takes his base on a full count, and first and second with nobody out, and we might have another pitching change here for the Wildcats. Sanchez went 5 full innings, and since then, Ducasi, Gonzalez, Gamboa, and now Lopez have all pitched for the Wildcats. Nobody has been able to consistently get outs.
no, there hasn't been one arm that's come in that has looked really in control. I mean, you look at the weekend now, and everybody that's pitched, it's not quite everybody on staff that's been available, but a large part, and really the only one that I think you leave the weekend and feel good about is Zambrana. And he got the short end of the stick because I think he was left in a batter or two too long after the 3 straight strikeouts following that set up then the BCU go-ahead home run at the time. But he's really the only one, I think, that has shown flashes of shutdown guy. As they're going to kick the lights on out here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And we got Carlos Hasmin on to pitch for the Wildcats. Hasmin, who's someone who last year when he came into pitch, you kind of knew the game was out of hand as, oh boy, here comes the rain and the wind.
Tell me how I'm getting droplets away. I mean, we're about as far
I am
back.
too. We
we're
are about as far
back
away
you
from
can
the
get.
field as we can be here at the Jack.
It's that wind.
And that's it. Everybody's being pulled off the field.
Just too windy to continue. What are we?
And the
Oh,
tarp
boy.
is going to have to come off, or come onto the field as Stony Brook has the lead, 12-8, no outs, 2 on in the top of the 8th. And after the first 2 innings where the Wildcats scored 8 runs, it's been all Seawolves since then. They've scored 12 straight, and it's mostly because the Wildcats have not had anybody out of the bullpen that has been able to do anything. Ducassi, 2/3 of an inning, gives up 2 runs on 4 hits. Gonzalez comes in, gives up 2 runs on no hits, but with 2 walks. Gamboa, 6 pitches, 2 hits, 2 runs on the home run, both earned. Lopez, 17 pitches, 1 hit, 1 run, and 2 walks.
Boy, they can't even get the tarp on because it's so windy.
I think this might be the end of the day, to be perfectly honest, because it's supposed to rain for a while.
It's probably up to Stony Brook being the visitors, but I don't see much of a reason to try to get the last inning and a half in here.
But if it does hold, then the Wildcats will have lost their home opening series 0-3 for the first time since 2003 when they lost to Florida Atlantic 3-0.
And it'll be a teaching moment for Coach Hernandez. You know, I almost hate to talk in final terms
there's
of,
the rain.
wow, yep, here it comes. I guess we are officially in a delay here. Not officially banked it yet. We're going to figure out what our plan forward is. Probably take a quick break.
Yeah, we're going to take a
Maybe wrap
break.
a bow on this if we can.
Yeah, we're going to take a break and come right back. This is Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Network.